Welcome to the Party Invite Show. My name is Tegan. I am joined today by Vilos.
That's me.
And Sovereign Sid, Festive Sid, Santa Sid.
Hello, friendo.
A streamer that goes by many names. The three of us, we are three of the four members of Party Invite. Chris is out today doing Christmas stuff. Today is the 22nd, so we're really ramping up into the holidays. As Vilo said before the show, we're looking forward to a lot of group and cozy gaming here in the next few weeks. But tonight, we've got the Party Invite Show. Every week, we bring you a show in two parts. We bring you the podcast, which typically has what we've been playing, a way for us to give you recommendations on a wonderful assortment of games. We all have very different tastes, and it's a great way to get firsthand reviews from people. The second part of the show is a game stream, and this game stream is going to be special. We've got two games on deck instead of one. Let's see, the two games. First, Vilos will be playing Ghost Song, and afterward, I will be playing Pentiment, which was also Carlos's recommendation. A great recommendation, too. We'll explain a little bit more of what those games are going to be at the end of the show before we sign off here. But really looking forward to those. I believe both of those are on Game Pass. Hashtag sponsor us, please. And there'll be good stuff. Excited to not only play those during the stream, but look at some more of those afterwards. But let's get started. So let's start the show with some good vibes. Thank you, Odysseus, in chat for... We have indeed sang the praises of Game Pass many times. The wonderful thing about this tracker is it tracks everything in Twitch and in Discord, so we can truly measure exactly how much we have... what's the word here?
I mean, it's still exponentially undervalued. 22 times is like not even a week.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Well, someday that number's going to be like 1,000, and we'll be like, you know what? That's not even close to the real number, but it gives you an idea. We'll have
later, and then there it is, 1,000. Like
if Chris really sticks with it, we might add a PlayStation one, because I know he does like the PlayStation Premium one, and Lizzie's playing a bunch of stuff off that too. So anyway, let's start the show with some good vibes and revisit our Blissin' Up segment. I don't have anything particular this week. It's been a good week playing games online with people, but I'll talk about that in what we've been playing. But Sav, let's start with you. Tell us something good that happened to you.
Today was really... It wasn't today. It was actually yesterday before the winter storm hit. So this was really funny. A moment that happened to me. My mom called just randomly out of nowhere, as she does. Sometimes we'll call each other very often. I see her once a month in person, just so we can catch up and stuff. She's not very far away from where I live, so we're really close. We're always in touch. But she never really calls unless she wants to tell me something. And this time around, she was calling before the winter storm hits, so I already know she's calling me about the winter storm. So I'm like, oh, my mom's calling, and I have her saved in my phone as Monarch because, of course, I do. So I'm like, oh, my mom, let me just pick up. And before she even gets a word out, just before she says anything, I'm like, yes, I know the winter storm is coming, and no, I'm not going anywhere. And she goes, how did you know? How did you know that's why I was calling? And I'm like, Mom, I know you. You've been alive my whole life. I know who you are. Like, I could literally write the book on my mom. We're like the Gilmore Girls, super duper close. And looking at my mom is like, look, I say this all the time. Basically, like looking 20 years into the future. Like, I know who I'm going to be because it's my mom. I'm going to be my mom.
She's right there.
She's right there.
Oh,
So
that's
that
wonderful.
made me laugh, and we had a really good laugh about that.
How did you know? Do you know me?
You don't know me like that.
Who do you think I am?
That's wonderful. Vilos, how about you, boy?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into specifics, but I had 3 different work parties over the past week.
3?
One
Why
of them
spread
was
them out? Why not just put them on the same day? Just, in fact, all at the same time.
I would have been fucking passed out the entire time, but it was a good time. I got to flirt with some cute people and grow a little closer to some people, and that was fun. Yeah, it was a good time.
We're not cute enough for you, Vilos?
Listen, proximity is a thing, so
and boundaries.
and boundaries.
Oh, that's
But yeah,
fun.
it was a good time.
Yeah, that's rad. We always had baller work parties at the company I worked for in Kansas City, and I'm still friends with a whole bunch of those coworkers. So I'll see those regular ones. They just a few weeks ago put up the holiday party pictures. And I'm like, man, I bet that was a banger. It's nice when you can work with people that you really can have fun with. You know, where like a holiday party like that actually feels great and not like work. You know, not like you're like networking, like you got to be on or something. So that's exciting. 3 work parties though. That's a lot for 1 week. And oh my gosh, and they
It was a
expected
lot
you
of
to.
free drinks and a lot of food.
Yeah.
A lot of buffalo dip was consumed, and I'm still thinking about it.
Very, very Midwestern.
Very Midwestern.
Well, it was funny because it was like it was a taco bar that happened to have buffalo dip, and it was like the number one thing to get. Very
This didn't
obviously.
happen to be Taco Hangover, did it?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
A taco hangover? Is that real?
Yes, it's like a relatively new restaurant. There's chains
Oh,
about it
it's a
like all
place.
around.
I thought
Yeah.
you were describing,
No,
especially when you said it's
Taco.
new. I'm like, what? Did they just discover a taco hangover?
It was the one that had that was actually at Brew Lab, and that was a good time. If you haven't had Brew Lab, their beers are phenomenal, and I just kept going.
As you do,
So,
you know.
Man,
as you do
Energizer
when the
better.
drinks are free.
Wonderful. Well, I feel blissened up already.
Yay.
Chat, if you guys want to tell, if anybody out there, rather in the present or the future, if you want to tell us something good that happened to you, gaming or non-related, let us know on Twitter or on our Discord. You can find links to both of those on our website at partyinvite.games. But we'd love to hear that stuff. We love gaming, but we are a community, and part of being a community is sharing, our struggles and our, what are they called? The things we celebrate? Struggles and
Successes?
yeah, struggles and successes. Like, there was an S word, but it wasn't strength. Thank you. We keep both of you around for all the wordy word stuff, the good talking. Last week, I think it was on the podcast. Odysseus pointed out at least a couple times where I, expectedly swapped a bunch of words. My favorite one, I said something was a fun of ton. So
Yes.
that feels good.
That was so good.
I tell you what, I'm not getting any better with my words as I get older. That's for sure. Yeah, tell us something good that happened to you. We want to keep those good vibes going on and off the stream. But let's move forward to our what we've been playing segment. Sav, are you cool with starting off with yours?
Yeah. Because everyone already knows what it is.
Well, hey, tis the season for comfy gaming, you know?
I am a creature of habit. I am. And so is my mom. That's how I knew why she was calling. So I have been playing, I talked about this last week as well. It's called Divine Knockout, y'all. It is touted as the world's first third-person arena brawler, platform brawler, what do you want to call it, platform fighter. Super duper easy to pick up. One of those things where it's like, yeah, you can. It has surprisingly more depth than it lets on. It's this really cute chibi fighter game. You see all the cute characters, and they're all doing their fun little voice lines and everything. And it's just like, oh, this seems like fun. It's simple. It's not. You're in a gauntlet. You're gonna die. You will perish. You pick a god, right? First you pick a god to pray to when you lose, and then you pick a god to play as in the game.
Wait, what? I knew about playing as a god. How does the mechanic work for praying to one after you die? Or is that a joke you're making, or is that a real mechanic? Sounds like a real mechanic. Huh?
It was joke.
Oh, it was joke. Well, I believe it though. That pantheon though,
That would actually be really cool. Like if there was some kind of like boon or curse or something that it could apply before matches, like some kind of multiplier. I don't know. That's something worth exploring, I think, because this game already kind of teeters on changing up the genre with its third person it works.
I told you, I'm looking to you guys for all the wordy words, and that
All
was
the
one
words.
of them.
We're definitely playing a vocab game later, so I'm gonna need chat to pay attention to all the words that we're gonna be using. So what really got me into the mood to play this this time around, besides the fact that I'm obsessed with it, is that they just released a new map. And if you're watching on live right now, you'll be seeing that map later. It's called Spirit Shrine, and it is the first Japanese-oriented map that they have released in the game. And actually, it was already in the alpha, but then they like removed it to tweak it a little bit and then get it ready for like the real release. And now, here it is for the real release. And it features a creature called Umibozu, which is a literal translation of Sea Priest, which is a mythical creature that lives in like the oceans and like drags people to the depths. It's fine.
Yes, they do.
But in this game, it's like a really cute gelatinous monster looking thing. Looks like a big old blue flan, and it sends waves crashing onto the stage that if you get hit by it, you get stunned and you take some damage. Hazards, just hazard things. But it's so cute.
Oh, you
It's
just
so
got
cute.
snowballed. Wow.
I sure did. Contact. So that's the ultimate of Ymir, who is the Nordic. I don't know exactly what he is in Norse mythology. I just know he's like an ice troll sort of deal. That's his whole
Yeah.
thing. But in this game, he's very husband shaped, and he's one of my favorite gods. Not to play as, just to watch and do stuff. In fact, actually on stream, I was talking about how everyone has a little animation they do after they complete a move. Oftentimes you don't get to see it because you're in the middle of combat. But at the end of Emir's ultimate, after he breaks out of the snowball or whatever, he does a little jig. He does
Oh,
a little
yeah.
jig. It's so cute.
Wonderful. So would you
Yeah.
say that Ymir, the daddy-shaped god, is the one that you pray to after the end of the match?
I'm
Probably.
making on my knees for him, but not to pray.
Oh, man.
But speaking of new features, they are releasing a new god soon. He was supposed to come out already, but they had to get some tweaks going client side because he was still a little too broken. They actually took him out for the remainder of the alpha because he was so broken. And now they feel like he's ready to be released. They actually revealed him in the last developer takeover that they had before the one that they had last time. So make it make sense. You'll get there.
Yeah.
And then he's coming out in January, I believe, is the announced like kind of time frame for that. But it's Zeus. It is Zeus. Hercules is his dad. Although in the game, Hercules specifically says Jupiter is his dad. And he is listed in this game as a Roman god rather than Greek. So I'm wondering,
Oh.
I'm guessing they're using Hercules rather than Heracles. There's a very slight but distinct difference there. Oh, and on the video feed, we have King of the Hill now. I mean, Spirit Shrine on King of the Hill. So this is the oriented map in Japan. You can see that there's like a little well there with a bell that's shaped like a fish. And it doesn't have any arch. It just has it just floats there. There's no support columns or anything about it. I thought it was a really neat touch. The last developer takeover they did where they revealed this map, they actually brought in an environment artist to describe all of the little touches and the little call outs to the actual authentic Japanese culture that they studied and put it like imbued into the map, which I thought was really neat.
Yeah.
Umibozu being one of them.
Say that again?
I said Umibozu being one of them,
Mhm.
Which is the sea creature in the back you see there.
I thought you said amiibos being one of them, and I'm like, is this a deeper cultural thing than I ever realized? Amiibos were here the whole time? They're ancient.
The deep dive. But no, it's a really fun map. I'm really glad that it's back. It's nicely sized. The environment you can interact with in different ways. Like there's a little fishing boat with a market in front of it that if you hit the support to, it actually sinks into the water. So it's a little platform until it's not. So watch out for that.
That's fun.
So there's actually a roadmap, and this is going to be the last thing I touch on before I pass it on here. But there's a roadmap that they just released that's going to be talking about how, like, the content that they plan to release in the near future. And being as the last thing on that roadmap is season 1, officially season 1, because right now we're in the founder season. I'm assuming that they're going to be ending the founder season, given that their time frame to release new gods is about every 6 weeks, not counting Zeus because Zeus is like delayed. So Zeus will come out in early
Well,
January.
not lightning fast at all.
Right. Some god of lightning he is.
Yeah.
So Zeus will come out, and then 6 weeks later, a mysterious silhouette was revealed. It's very obviously Wukong, and y'all already know how I feel about Wukong. I hate him. He's in everything. He's like the Charizard of deities. I hate it. Get him out of here.
Hey, at least he's a real deity. It's instead of Charizard just being a dragon. I mean, we don't have to get into it, but
You're right. I'm trying to maintain my sanity, the holiday spirit, and all that whatnot. I'm still trying to remain nice for Santa.
That's right. Yeah, just a few more days. Just a few more days. And then you get a reset. You can act however you want.
There's 8 days. There's 8 days between Christmas and New Year's, and that's it. I get to wild out. It's fine.
That's
great.
right. He can't see you. Normally he could see you while you're sleeping and all that stuff. Nope, not during these 8 days. Anything goes. It's like the purge, except, well, in our case, I'm just gonna say it's probably gonna be hornier.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
If it's on brand, based on our conversation today. The horniest days of the year. That's what they call them.
New Year's gonna be lit. That's all I'm gonna say.
That is what the solstice is for. So
That's what the solstice is for. Oh boy.
But yeah, so they're going to be adding Zeus, and then they're adding some more Norse mythology people who have not been revealed, and they're adding Wukong, who is not Norse but is coming somehow because he is, he always is.
Okay. Well, phrasing. I'm usually not the one to do that, but
well, I guess Chris
Hook, line,
has to be
and
here
sinker.
somehow.
It is, man. Usually I'm the one who just like face palms at all the innuendo, but I guess I'm taking point today. So you. What was I going to ask? So in Knockout, I almost said Knockout City. In Divine Knockout, 2 different games. Remind me again. This is in early access right now, correct?
Technically, it is in what is called Founder Season, so it's more polished than like an early access game would be, because it had that extra, alpha of testing. But yeah, I guess for all intents and purposes, it could be considered an early access game. Right now, there was a free to keep promotion on Steam that ended on Monday of this week. But right now, if you watch any streamer playing DKO, if DKO is the category that they're streaming under, watch them for 30 minutes, preferably me, by the way. I just put that out there. Watch them for 30 minutes and you get access to the game. It's base access for the PC version only. And you can still get it for free if you have the PS Plus on PlayStation. You can get the Founders Pack for free. For free!
For
99.
free.
And that comes with extra gods, some god tokens so you can unlock even more gods, and then some in-game premium currency, which is called runes, which you can use for like cosmetics and things like that. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, excellent. Well, that is Divine Knockout. And also shout out to Troy Takes Photos in Twitch chat. Thank you, man. Thanks for the subscription.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I do want to say that that's going to be out on every platform. So Epic, Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation, but not Switch. Even though this is like the switchiest Switch game to ever switch the Switch.
Yes.
I'm mad about it, but I understand why, because Nintendo is so particular about their authentication process. And they want to get patches out as soon as possible. Blah blah blah.
I posted the news that the what's the dog photography game, Paparazzi. In my head, that was a Switch exclusive. So when the news broke that was coming to Switch now, after, I don't know, 6 or 12 months or something.
It's been on Game Pass this whole time.
Well, it's not like I'm not in a huge hurry to play it. It's not really my cup of tea. But just the fact that I was so completely wrong on where that game was available. I mentioned it to Lizzie, and she was like, yeah, this whole time I thought it was on the Switch. Like, obviously, it's the switchiest game that ever switched. Like, stop set. Just look at it. But yeah, that's funny how stuff is and isn't available on certain things. As an aside, Steve Haynes, Oh Man Steve-O, who you can find on YouTube, shared the news that the Square Enix, or no, what was it? It's through all these deals. Violet, you'd know better than I do, but it's that Sony signed a non-exclusivity or an exclusivity clause or something.
Yeah, where they literally excluded Xbox from having the games, period.
Yeah, and it was a bunch of them. One of them was Final Fantasy, whichever one it is.
7 Remake.
7 Remake, that's right. Among others, but that just got us into the conversation again of like, what does it mean to be exclusive and why? I think games have done a good job of getting away from being exclusive in the past 5 years, getting more crossplay and stuff. So seeing the companies like monopolize, they all buy each other up and then say, no, we're exclusive again. I'm like, man, we're going the wrong direction. Stop it. But we could talk about that later. I just thought that was, I just wanted to shout out that conversation that's going on in our community right now. Vilas, do you want to do your game next?
Yes. Okay. So this one's a funny one, just because I haven't played much of anything for 2 whole weeks. Very surprising, I know. But
that's actually surprising. I don't know. For the first time viewers, that's surprising.
Exactly. So anytime a limited edition physical game comes out on Switch, I am intrigued. I have to think about it, and I will most likely do something to get it. But this one, it's a relic of its time, and I was very excited to see Limited Run's distribution version of Blood Rain revamped at Best Buy over the weekend. Yeah. And so Blood Rain revamped is technically, you have to buy a copy for each game. It's Blood Rain 1 revamped and Blood Rain 2 revamped in separate cases.
Separate.
Because money, money, money.
Yeah.
Also, I like how the logo for Blood Rain is basically representative of her figure.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's the whole
have you
thing.
seen the logo?
It was very purposefully
I was not
designed.
watching very
So just watching this announcement trailer for from Ziggurat, the publishers, looking at this game, you're just like, yeah, fond memories, all right, nostalgia, and I knew better. I remember playing it way back when. I started playing it last night, and it's wild, but it's almost like this game's fucking 20 years old.
What do you know?
And it shows, and I am fine with that. I like that, actually. And it says enhanced visuals and sound, and Jesus Christ, bro, it's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough at all. I started playing Blood Rain 1 last night. I didn't start playing 2, even though I know 2 is a better game. Significantly better, actually. But this came out. Yeah, there's that nice spicy logo.
Let me play it again. Sorry, I'm always so slow on this cut. I'll put it back up so we can look at it. Oh, the one that looks like a syringe or like the medical.
Yeah,
the syringe. That's a good imagery for it.
Yeah,
it technically is.
I mean, that is what it is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I mean. Well, okay, actually, this is cool because you could say this is a lot of things. Let's do a breakdown.
It does it a lot.
Okay, so you mentioned
a little breakdown.
You mentioned that it could be her figure. Okay, sure. I see a syringe from there, an old school syringe with the 2 things on the side. The 2 circles could be an infinity sign. Vampires live a really long time, right? Maybe forever. I don't know. And then the T's are evocative of a cross. Like a not quite cross, which is exactly, fits in vampire. Also, it's obvious, but Blood Rain revamped, haha, pun. I just have to say it because I have the words in front of me, and if people can't see it at home, you can't miss the pun. But that is a cool logo.
You even mention the stake. I mean, it really hits on so many things. And the whole thing is that I think it's World War II era, because you're technically dealing with pre-Nazis. I don't remember if it's post most of the actual war or if it's pre. I don't remember.
But that's the beauty of Nazis. You can put Nazis anywhere, and they're always the bad guy. You don't care how they got there. You just understand they did Nazi weird science stuff.
That is technically true, and this came out I think it may have been a year or two. It was around the same time. I think it was a year or two before Wolfenstein came back, Yeah.
Oh,
so it was one of the games that it was one of the games that really brought the Nazis back into the whole list of early 2000s, outside of Call of Duty and stuff.
I mean, couldn't we have just left them alone though? Need for them to become a part of the conversation again.
Right.
But the great thing about Blood Rain is that you not only can suck the blood of literally every enemy that's not a monster, or that's not like a spider or whatever, that's not humanoid, right? But you also have the ridiculous arm blades that are literally as long as your actual arms or longer, but they connect from wrist to elbow.
Oh, that's cool.
They have impossible physics and shit, and that's
impossible. Have you seen the Pokemon Gatlade? I rest my case.
True. And actually, speaking of impossible physics, I'm actually going to put it on my Twitter somewhat soonish, but there is a particular physics engine at work in the cutscenes, and
I see. Say no more.
But it's really funny.
Is it like Soul Calibur, or is it worse?
It's like Dead or Alive at the same time period. It was really bad, really funny. Like the video I got, I cannot wait to put it on Twitter actually tonight.
She's just having like a casual conversation, just like
the
king has a new advisor.
No, there's literally the first person that you meet is like telling you how to do things, telling you what your mission's gonna be, and she hops off of this building, and she's just standing there. She steps forward and she's talking, and she just they just go, Like they just sit there and wobble for a minute. She's perfectly still, and it's like, what is going on? But
excuse me.
but
So
yeah,
good.
but it is the game. That's what this game is all about, and the concept I still love. I still love the idea of just, chopping people and taking down Nazis and stuff like that. But the execution of this game is horrifying. The one thing that you need to know if you are interested in getting Blood Rain 1 or 2 is that the revamped version is technically the remastered version that was only done like 2.5 years ago, which I bought on Steam to support them because it was out of nowhere. It was the terminal cut is what they called it when it was on Steam.
Hmm.
It came out of nowhere. It's like, hey, people have been asking for this forever. Since Blood Rain is running like shit on PC, we're gonna remaster it.
I hope that's on their
And
press release.
it was almost literally on their press release because it was like a bunch of modders or something that Ziggurat then hired or something like that. And then they released the terminal cut, and then very shortly after, like 6 months after, they started getting obviously got some sales and seemed to get some publishing like roots out there, and then Limited Run picked up their deal, and so that's the interesting part of it. But just in my 2 hours of playing last night, the game froze on me 3 times.
Froze on you.
Froze
Wow.
on me. Straight up, like, couldn't do anything but escape from the game and go back in.
Dude.
What
And
platform was this
it's
on?
on Switch. Yeah.
Oh dear.
And it just
Yeah.
froze? Dude, that's not supposed to happen anymore.
Yeah. And it's a game that has save options, as in it doesn't auto save. You have a quick
Oh.
save and you have a regular save.
Because if you're making a remaster, why add that, You gotta
Yeah, why?
maintain the
Yeah,
integrity.
exactly.
It
It has to
literally
be an original experience.
it really is the retro experience though. Like the settings are woefully bad. Like Tegan, if you just looked at the settings in the game, you'd be like, holy shit, do I even want to start?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah,
it-
we live in the age of accessibility, and that doesn't. Like, that ain't it.
Yeah.
Do they
Yeah.
have a gigalometer though?
Surprisingly, they don't. I really thought that they would have some shit like that with the way that they did it. But yeah, the only cool thing that they did have that's still not new, I'm pretty sure it's the same way they had it way back when, is that they have the cheat code system available to you from the first moment.
Oh.
So
Oh, so do they have like big head mode and everything like in GoldenEye?
there's a shit ton of stuff. I think that is one of them. It's funny because they have cheat codes that are actual words, and so as far as I could tell, you just choose the word and it does whatever it's supposed to do. But it's like a ton of words. I'm pretty sure there's like 25 plus cheat code words in there. I don't know if you're supposed to make a phrase with them or what, but I'm going to test it out and see, because if I can
Cheat
just go
code
God mode and
awooga,
finish the
please.
game. Yeah.
Vilas, I want to see you troubleshooting that, to just be like, how does this thing work? Because it's like, it's the modern day equivalent of a movie, a heist movie where they, National Treasure or Uncharted. You go into the tomb, and then you're like, okay, I have a vague structure of how this should go, but it's built with really old rules, so we'll figure this out together.
Yeah. And so, by the way, the other thing that was like just so unbearably retro about it, and it's another thing I got a video for Sav, because the start of the game is I don't remember if it's actually part of New Orleans, but it's in Louisiana at the very least. And everybody in the first part of the game is, oh boy, those accents are
Oh, no.
the best and
Oh
worst.
no.
They are the best and the worst. Literally, the first guy that you find, like the first woman you see, is like this epic thing. I don't even know what to call her. But the first guy you see is like the most redneck Louisianan dude you could find, and he's hiding in a church.
He's just like, oh no, 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 come on, no, but yeah, no.
No, you're gonna love it when I send you a clip of it. It's so funny. But the funniest thing about this is that it's entirely a swamp. The first level is all swamp, and
It's called a bayou.
I mean, it's bayou technically, but it's also swamp because there are electric poles literally in the middle of all the water, and
That's good. That's good.
you can walk. You actually have to walk across the cables in order to get to certain places.
Also good. That's good.
And you know why that is? That's because Blood Rain, for some reason, being a vampire, gets hurt in water.
Ah, yes.
Classic vampire.
Classic.
They have to be invited into houses and cannot wash their hands.
Wait, does that mean are Inklings vampires?
Because they can't touch water? Oh, this is the deep dive.
The Venn diagram is getting much closer.
Oh my god! I will say that looking at that game just made me want to play Bayonetta.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I got it, because I have, I have Astral Chain, I have Bayonetta, I have Nier Automata, I have Blood Rain 1 and 2. Like, I've got the family tree, so to speak, even though this is the absolute worst part of the tree.
Babe heroines?
This is the black sheep.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, so far, like, it's gonna be a trudge trying to get through this 8 to 10 hour game. But I'm going to do it as long as the game doesn't freeze on me every time I play it, because I feel like it might.
It might.
But
it might.
Yeah.
Well, if you freeze the water, then she could touch it. So that's probably why.
Oh my gosh.
Sure.
Classic. I want to know what other vampire rules this game introduces to the ancient mythos of vampires. Oh yeah, they can't touch water and stuff.
I mean, she has the get over here style chain that she slings at somebody, sticks them, and then brings them over in order for her to latch on like a spider monkey and
feed.
do her business.
That's fun. Oh, okay. Well, I don't like it when you say it like that. Well, that's funny. That is okay. Blood Rain revamped. Definitely a 20-year-old game from the looks and sounds of it. Man, the fact that it's freezing on your Switch is woo. Is it available on other platforms as a remaster, as a revamp?
Actually, now that I think of it, I think it's on Xbox. I think that's the limited run deal. I think they did this one Xbox and Switch, because they also released Blood Rain Last Bites. I think
the last Bloodbender.
Yes, which is the little 2D Castlevania style game, which is actually a good game. So,
not actually. Oh no.
Yeah. Actually,
Blood Rain Betrayal was the original version of it, but it's Blood Rain Last Bites now.
As an aside, Vilas, was this you? Someone in the past 2 years in my life said something, and I don't remember if it was gaming or not, so that's why I'm so lost. But they were like, I want to... Oh, no, it might have been Lizzie, actually, in reference to books. It was, I want to have the strength to stop reading a book that I don't like. Like, instead of powering through it, even though I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like the rest of it. I think it was either Lizzie or a friend of hers. Hearing you talk about Blood Rain, you're just like, it's bad. Got 8 hours left. Can't wait, but I'm gonna do it. It's like, oh gosh, like, you could play like literally anything else, right?
Like it's more of a game. Yes, it's more of a game than Scorn was, though. So
yeah,
I don't know.
You described that as like almost more art than game, right? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, seems like that's like when adults design educational video games, but they design them as education first and games second. Nobody likes it. And no one likes that. Like, it's not fun. It's terrible. It's barely educational. Yeah. So in this case, yeah, it's just.
It's like the difference between Mario is Missing and Mario's Time Machine.
Mario is Missing as a game.
Oh my god.
So okay, just as a TLDR, Mario gets kidnapped instead of Peach or Luigi. So Mario goes missing, and then it's up to Luigi to go and save him. And it's basically, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego with a Mario skin?
Is it a side scroller? Is it
kind of
like you visit places and look at a picture and hunt, or like your character walks around and point and clicks? Like,
so there's like a world map, and then you go to you choose the city that you want to start your search in, and then you go to the information booth, and then Peach is there, Toadstool, is there to give you like hints about where to go next. And so she'll like say you're like in Paris or something, and she's like, "Oh well, there's something blah 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 blah, the Colosseum, blah 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 blah." And you're like, "Oh, okay, let's go to Rome." So then you go to Rome, and then your next hint's gonna be there, and so forth and so on. And there are bosses to fight. Like it's a Mario game. There are bosses to fight and things like that too. Um, but I actually had fun playing that game because it was a game first that I felt like I was learning from. Mario's Time Machine was just kind of a chore
Oh,
for
rip.
me.
Wow.
But it
Not
was
even
still
worth
very,
the time, huh?
it was still very pretty, and it's still worth like what, $300, $400. So I
It's
mean,
worth a stupid amount of money if you have it.
yeah,
When did it come out? What was it on?
both of
It's
those
on
games are for
SNES.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Golly gee. That's too much. I need a time machine to make that worth playing, make it something good versus the competition.
Oh, maybe I have it backwards then, because Mario's Missing is not worth that much money. I don't know. It's subjective anyway.
Yeah, we'll figure it out on the corrections or something. Well, wonderful. Well, that is Mario's Missing, and Vilas has been playing Blood Rain Revamped. You bought a physical copy that you played on your Switch, yeah?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
Well,
Mister
you can get it.
hashtag Mr. Physical. That's what they call him.
Careful using that one around the office.
I won't be. I will not be careful, and you can't make me.
I would have to be, for sure.
Just make sure you get it on whichever platform you prefer. Just be aware that the Switch has higher stakes.
Ha! 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 Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's see. Dad jokes in chat, please. Okay. Well, then the last one. I also just have one game to talk about this week. Been playing a whole bunch of stuff. I know. Usually, Vilas, you're playing a whole bunch of stuff. We're all usually playing several games, but the one I really want to talk about this week is Barotrauma, a game that broke Facebook because we tried to upload a cover photo and it was an absolute disaster because Facebook said, "Did you want to do that 4 times and crush any of your reach on your page just for today?" And then when we reshared it later, it said, "Oh, do you want literally everyone who's ever touched this page to get pushed this picture with no caption?" Pretty funny. We had a good time with that, so I wanted to mention it on the show because it really did make me laugh out loud. Facebook, what are you doing? Anyway, Barotrauma. Barotrauma is a game, I looked it up today. I thought it came out in 2020. Came out in 2019 in June or July, sometime in the summer. Barotrauma is a submarine co-op survival game. It says it's a horror survival game. I don't know if I totally agree with that, but if you're afraid of horror, you might think this is a horror game. This is a game that kind of looks like Faster Than Light, FTL, but it's a lot more of a slow burn. You don't pause. Yeah, you can have AI that assists you as crewmates on your sub, but really the bread and butter, as we've experienced it, is having humans as all of the crewmates. So we streamed this for the first time. We all as a group played it together for the first time, and we've agreed that as a community we're only going to play this together because, and I have strong opinions on this, playing survival games together for me is all about the discovery of what are these systems, how do we manipulate them, what are the differences between what you see from your perspective and what I see from my perspective, which could mean a lot of different things in a lot of different games. Sometimes, Don't Starve has characters with certain strengths and weaknesses. This game has 5 different classes, plus assistants who aren't specialized but level up their skills a little more quickly than everyone else. But we jumped into it. We streamed the entire thing. You can still see the VOD on our Twitch channel, but I'll get this footage up. We streamed for a little over 5 hours. We played it for a long time. And, actually, hold on. Let me switch this because I need to...
Submarine-y.
Let's see. I need to change one thing. Hold on. There we go. This will look better. Okay, now you can see the full screen of what I was playing. Right now, so, rule number 1, or, the one thing I want to get across on here, while we had a really good time with this game, and I can't wait to get more people to play it, I want to reiterate that this is one of the slowest burns of any game I have ever played. So, a lot of the time that you're playing, your specialized character, tends to look at the same screen or area a whole lot while you're playing. So right now, when what you're seeing on screen is me playing as the captain. I am navigating the ship, and I'm looking at just a whole bunch of dials and readouts and all this stuff. Right now, you can see our submarine moving to the right towards some enemies that we have as a quest to kill. But everything else that you see on my screen, you see my inventory on the bottom and the right side. On the bottom left is chat, where you can not only type in text to just say whatever you want, but commands can be issued there. And anyone can issue commands to anyone else on the ship. You don't have to be the captain to do it. But with 5 specialized roles, the captain, the security officer, the mechanic, the electrical engineer, and the medic, those are 5 different roles. They don't all have to be filled. Any character can do anything, but once you level up your skills, it becomes a little easier, like these games tend to do. And then if you have an assistant is specialized in nothing. They're the 6th class, specialized in nothing, but they level up a little faster than everyone else. So you issue commands to people. On the left, on here, you see a picture in the top left-ish. You see my submarine with all of the it's very small, but with all of the rooms in the entire sub. And I can click and drag an emergency icon over any of those rooms to say, hey, there's a fire in the reactor room. We should probably put that out. Or there's a hull breach. We're under attack, as we're about to be here in just a moment. And all sorts of other commands. Hey, I need this pump fixed in this room. Other things like that. The game gives you many, many tools to communicate whatever it is you're trying to say. Through text, through the command console, or whatever that's called. And we played on Discord, but the game does have in-game chat, which can be local or radio, similar to games like Phasmophobia. But it's very, very localized. So if you use local chat, basically only the people immediately next to you can hear you. So with this game being such a slow burn, where a lot of times you'll have 10 minutes of very extreme combat where you're under attack and your sub is filling with water, and because it's filling with water, you're sinking to the bottom of the ocean where you're going to impact the bottom of your sub and get another hole poked into it. While all of that is happening, or while that is very panicked, kind of frenetic, everybody's just trying to communicate while also screaming, or like running around like chickens with their heads cut off. A lot of the other time is just you coasting along quietly. If you're doing everything right, then it goes pretty slowly. And at first I thought that was a bad thing. But as I played more, I realized that this is a game that leaves a lot of room. I mean, you can see in this video, I'm basically looking at the same screen the whole time. So I'm going to scrub forward to just show you guys some other stuff. Okay, let's go to where we are swimming outside the ship. This game leaves a lot of room for role-playing. And while we didn't do any role-playing really in our session, we also didn't enable any of the modes that allow people to turn on you, because being a traitor is a thing in this game if you want, whether it's other humans or AI. You can enable people to betray you. So the whole premise of this game is you're on a submarine under the ocean of Europa, one of the moons of Jupiter. And you're digging for minerals, you're fighting sea monsters, you're doing all this stuff, but you're completely isolated from Earth. You don't have any contact with it. So anything... Oh gosh, look at this huge fish under the water! Fortunately, it's dead. But the first time I saw that, I panicked. So yeah, that's why they call this a horror survival game. In our next session that we played, one of those caught me out in the ocean while it was alive. I basically died in one hit. Don't swim around when those are outside the submarine. They're very spooky. They'll kill you very quickly. So I said this game is a lot like FTL, like Faster Than Light. I'm pretty sure this is the part of the game where I tried to pick up the giant hammerhead fish and I tried to bring it inside the ship. It didn't work. But you can pick stuff up and loot it. You get alien blood from all the sea creatures. But it's like Faster Than Light, but you have all these pretty complicated systems. Like on their surface, they're generally straightforward. they added a tutorial. This game has been out since 2019, I mentioned, but they just added a tutorial in the holiday update this month. So the game went on sale. It's still on sale. It's on sale on Steam and on Humble Bundle. You can get it for $7 instead of $30. Though now that I've played it, I wouldn't have said this when we first started, but I would call this a $30 game. I imagine us sinking a lot of time into this game. Honestly, over the next few years, I bet. This will be something that we just revisit every once in a while. But complicated systems, you can wire up your anything. Your doors, your reactor, your water pumps, your alarm systems. You can wire them up in a really... In a way that the game doesn't tell you how to do anything. You just have to play around and find out. But it seems like the ceiling for these things is very high. Like, you could be very creative in customizing how your submarine operates. And it's really just as creative as you, the player, can be. And there's so much I could say about this game. There's no way I could fit it in the time that I've allotted for this podcast. But it's got this funny ragdoll system as you're walking around. Each of your limbs, the enemies and AI all work the same way, but your head, body, arms, and legs they're all separate things. And they all move in a really silly way, especially once water starts flooding your ship, because the water will knock you over and you'll trip over the water and just stumble around a little bit. But you've got these suits you can see on screen right now that you want to put on if you're going to go outside the ship or if your ship is about to flood. If you're like me, you keep forgetting that when you're in the suit, in your sub, you still have to have an oxygen tank on the suit. Because if you're in the suit and it doesn't have oxygen, you will suffocate. Even though there's oxygen all around you, you can't breathe because the suit's on. Well, I only died to that like 3 times, so we're learning, you know? The funny thing is, when your oxygen is low in a suit, you and everyone else in the submarine can hear the beeping that's happening that says, hey, your oxygen's low. But there are so many beeps and sounds around the submarine that I didn't realize that was my suit the whole time. And everybody kept telling me to change my oxygen. And I was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm fine. Oh, I'm dying. But it's a really good time. Let's see, is there anything else I can scrub to on here? You visit outposts. You know, it's a roguelike, so you have missions where you go from one place to another, and you dock at these outposts. You supply up, maybe you buy more ammo, maybe you recruit an AI crewmate, maybe you do all sorts of other goofy things that this game has offered for role-playing and for just being silly. It also seems like a very, very moddable game. They offer an entire mode of the game that you can build your own submarine using every tool that they have to build theirs, and it's extensive. Very extensive. If you're looking at this screen right now, every single thing that you can see, every box on the wall, every fan in the background, every wire or button, door, ladder, every single thing you can interact with it. There are a few things that are just for scenery, especially in the outposts, but anything on your submarine, because we're looking at an outpost right now, that's a vending machine and stuff. There's so much to discover. So the favorite part about this for me is that we're all only playing this as a group. Normally with survival games like Raft, Don't Starve, Grounded, Astroneer, we tend to play together, and then we'll go off on our own and make our own servers where we can really just screw around and experiment without affecting anybody. And while that's fun, it's that sense of discovery of seeing something for the first time. Like in this offline session we played, we tried to fight a really big enemy. Don't do that at the beginning of the game. Big mistake. The hammerhead that we saw earlier damages the outside of your ship. But the spearfish or whatever else that we fought shoots a massive spear as big as 3 humans, shoots it all the way through your whole entire ship from in one end and out the other, and we thought we could fight it We tried. But that discovery, that moment where we realized we've got to get out of here, that's what makes these survival games so much fun. The fact that you're seeing everything together for the first time, you're doing the very best you can to slap, that duct tape on the leak in the hole so that your submarine doesn't sink to the bottom of the ocean. Just lots of wonderful moments. Wonderful, but also frustrating, because these games, the frustration comes with the territory, which is why survival games aren't for everybody, and why this game, with it, how slow it goes, is especially, buyer beware. But I can't wait to get back to this again. I've just been thinking about it. I'm trying not to wiki anything, really, but I've just been thinking about what I'm going to do with my next character. I proposed the idea, like, when you die in this game, you can, on a very long timer, you can respawn. You respawn in, like, an extra sub, and that sub has to dock with your sub. It's an interesting mechanic. But I was thinking, maybe every time we die, we have to switch classes. Or maybe you have to become an assistant. So maybe by the end of it, every person on the ship is a fucking assistant. There's no captain. Just a bunch of secretaries running around all the time. But Barotrauma, whole lot of fun, super on sale right now. A huge exercise in teamwork and communication. The victories are sweet because you can only achieve them together. There is nobody who is single-handedly operating this ship. It just has complexities in a way that's similar, but unique from any other survival game I've ever played. So really looking forward to playing more of that. I'll have some fun clips taken out of this, of especially those really shocking moments of discovering, when I fire my gun in the ship, it's probably going to hit somebody. Stuff like that. Who could have prevented it is really the question. But, Barotrauma, go check it out. If you'd like to play with us, if you'd like to discover this game with us, it supports up to 16 players. That's crazy. And if we ever reach anything over, like, 6 or 8, I think we have 6 people who are interested now. The 4 of us who've played plus 2 more. If we get over 8, I can tell you that communications get cuckoo bananas so quickly when your submarine gets hit and somebody's like, "Oh, there's something, there's an explosion," and you're like, "Okay, but I need information." I understand there's an explosion. Everybody calm down. Where is it? In the boiler room? Is it in the front? In the midship? But it's like, imagine playing FTL or Star Trek, where when something explosive and crazy happens, everybody wants to panic. But if you want to be a good crewmate, you've got to stay composed. You've got to communicate effectively using the game's tools. It's a wild ride. So yeah, it'll be a test of our communication skills to use, Russ, 16 people screaming in voice chat, to use the voice chat, the command UI, and the in-game text chat, all of those together to try to run this sub. But it's really cool. It seems like it feels different than any game I've ever played before. So yeah, you'll hear me talk about that more in the future. Once we learn some more about it and we actually get good at it, then we might be able to try some of the stuff like PvP. Who knows? But there's a bundle of fun to be had in this game.
Let's just get 16 people in one sub first. I can't wait to see that.
Oh gosh, whoa, I'm nervous just thinking about it. It'll be very fun, but community, if you want to help us reach that, $7 secures your spot on our very packed submarine. That sounds insane, but I would love to see it. And the beauty of a community like ours is that that's actually possible. Without a community like this, no way you're ever going to see 16 people. No way. But I'll quit flapping my lips about that. We'll play again soon, and I'll report back on what we've learned and, how many times we've sunk the ship or sunk the sub. But, Odysseus is here in chat. Russ is here in chat. Both of them played with us. We had Deadpool and Hot Rod. Actually, that means we have 7 people who are interested in playing. So shoot, we're almost halfway there. So hell yeah. Well, 'tis the season. Yeah, we're approaching holidays, so hopefully we'll get a bunch of people in chat. We famously had the most people at the time, the most people ever last New Year's Eve streaming their own screens. We had 7 people all playing different games on New Year's Eve, all playing and chatting and watching each other, and I'm looking forward to that again. Because no kidding, like in a place in my life right now where I am far away from most of the people I know, it's really cool to be able to jump in Discord and feel like I'm just right there in the same room as a bunch of good people. So, yeah, with that, unless anybody has any final wrap-up words, I want to wish everybody a merry happy.
Just one reminder from me that we do still have 9 days left on our Extra Life campaign. So if anybody would like to drop a little bit of something, then that is an option. There we go. There's the
Boom.
donation link right there. As well as the other team members that we have there, Odysseus and Demoduo and Bats.
Oh shoot, we got to get Odysseus $50 so he plays Super Mario Chaos.
Yeah, but yeah, again, everything is still going till December 31st on Extra Life. So if you got some extra Christmas money, you want to spend it for a good cause, you can get an incentive on any of our team's pages for various things. But yeah, either way, it's helping out some kids to change their lives, change their future. So we'd love to see some donos in there the last few days.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Wildwood Cellars. They just recently released their elderberry blends locally around the area. So that's really cool. You don't have to travel all the way out to Wichita or order online. If you're where I am, I'm not going to say anything else other than that. I could just go to my local beerery.
Beerery.
Yes, very accurate.
And it's in the optionary. We'll put it in there. And
Encyclopedia. Huh?
Oh, hey.
Got them words.
The last time I checked, they had 3 different versions of the mead at that one particular liquor store. So
still waiting on the peach though.
Should drop by. Oh yeah. No,
I'm gonna need that peach.
We're gonna get it.
You're gonna need that peach. Ooh.
Are they gonna get an eggplant flavor? Like what's going on there?
Yeah, we'll hit them up.
Just infuse a little bit.
Be like, hey, the elderberries are too spooky looking. Can you switch them to eggplant, please?
Please and thank you.
So I'm going to read off the list that I just put this together this morning as I was waking up. So I know there's a lot more, and I'll be excited to dig into it. But Vilos, after I'm done reading this list of games on the winter Steam sale that a bunch of people in our community can vouch for, could you tell us about the 2 games that we'll be playing? Even just a very brief synopsis, but let me tell you what these are. I don't have the prices in front of me, but they're all at the very least 30% off. A lot of them are 75% off. Every game that I'm about to read is a game that one or many people in our Discord have given the big thumbs up for. Let's see, we got Barotrauma on sale again, like I just said. We've got Unrailed. That is a roguelike endless train track building game for up to 4 people. Raft, wonderful survival, the most chill survival game I've ever played. So if you're looking for the chillest in that genre, Raft is it.
Except Bruce.
Except Bruce. DST, Don't Starve Together. That game, my favorite survival game of all time, is on sale. It goes on sale all the time. I want to play more of that in the future. I've talked to Fuzzy Man Peach. He just picked up the game in our community for the first time a little bit ago. So I'm showing him the ropes, and we're playing the holiday, the Winter's Feast update. So if you'd like to join us. Yeah, Odysseus is right. The shark is actually called Jeremiah. We called it Bruce, but let the record show. It's very, we stick to our guns around here.
Oh, well, Bruce could be his middle name.
Jeremiah Bruce Sharkington. Classic. From a long line of Sharkingtons. We've got Aliens Fireteam Elite. That's a game that I know Steve, Steve-O, said he really enjoyed. I believe it's fairly short, all things considered. Up to 4-player co-op. Bloons Tower Defense 6. That's a game that Shanny Pat got a bunch of people in our community into. I used to play Bloons Tower Defense way back in the day in high school. Really liked it. If you want to, Vilos, you joked at me for benchmarking my new CPU using Stardew Valley, which is a real thing. I really did that. I watched a couple friends basically benchmark their computers on how far they can get into Bloons Tower Defense before their computer just can't process what's on the screen anymore.
In theory, that's a better idea than Stardew.
Yeah, for me, I was just like,
They can do ridiculous
I'm going to
things.
spin all these plates, but one of them is Stardew Valley and one of them is Overwatch, and I'm doing all these other things. My plates are very different sizes. We've got Deep Rock Galactic. It's on sale on Steam right now for like $10. Great game, but keep in mind, no crossplay. If you want to play with us in the community, most of us own it on Game Pass. You and your friends can play it on Steam. Just keep in mind, you won't be able to crossplay Game Pass and Steam. Very important. I got a friend to buy the game one time, and we were both very upset. Grounded. Grounded is a game I took some more footage of today. That game is the most recommendable, accessible survival game I've ever played. I've mentioned a bunch of survival games already, but Grounded is, if you only check out one game, make it Grounded. It's baller. It's on a bunch of systems. It hit 1.0 this year, and it's great for a bunch of reasons, which you'll see in a video, which will be up very soon. So go play that.
It has an arachnophobia mode, which makes all the spiders super amorphous blobs.
Yeah, they still act the same, but they don't look like wolf spiders anymore. We've got Stellaris. That's a long, slow burn strategy game that Deadpool and Hot Rod play with a bunch of people who they've invited to our community. Stellaris has been around for years, but yeah, big Odysseus plays that too. A big galactic, galaxy-spanning empire builder on sale. So Stellaris. Gloomhaven's a game that is an old school franchise that originally started as a board game. Doppelganger over at Demo Duo. That is his go-to Switch game to play while he's traveling. So I wanted to point that out, as it is the season for traveling. But he loves that. He plays that all the time. He talks it up all the time. Abris, which is a demo I played way back earlier this year. It's a demolition game. You just destroy stuff. The whole point is there are a million pixels, and you use these industrial tools to explode and wrecking ball and transport these buildings into dust. It's very fun. It's very pretty, and it's on sale. So Abris, Abriss. Triangle Strategy, Vilos. There you go. I'm going to pick this up on this sale. I told you I would buy it based on.
It's a very good move.
Yeah,
I knew a lot of gameplay for what is it, $23 or something right now?
Yeah, it wasn't lower than 20, but I saw it and I was like, I just need to buy it now because I know I'm going to buy it. Why would I wait? Is it going to go more on sale? I'm never going to play it if I just keep saying I'm going to buy it later. Especially if I know I'll like it.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is a vicious cycle. So Triangle Strategy was a big recommendation from Vilos here this year. The last two I've got are Inscription, my game of the year last year. Love that one. I was surprised how far down it was on the list of games on the sale, actually. But Inscription's an amazing escape room card deck builder game. It's complicated, and it's very fun. I've said everything I need to say in the past. Inscription's great. I wish I could experience it again for the very first time. And the last one I've got is Frostpunk. That's a survival RTS that Odysseus has played a bunch and streamed in our Discord. And of course, because it's all about freezing, I always want to play games like that. Oh, Inscription is on Switch. That's right. That's right. Did Inscription ever hit Game Pass? I don't think it ever did. I hope it does sooner or later to get more people to play it. What an amazing game. But Frostpunk, is a survival RTS where, the world is ended and there's snow and ice everywhere, and you've just got to try to keep your citizens warm and fed and happy as you expand your teeny little city and exploring all this stuff. So I'm probably going to pick that up after watching Odysseus play it, because I could use something that's just a real slow, not casual and not easy, but a real slow survival game. I haven't played a lot of survival games. Do it. Now hold on, Vilos, because the redemptions aren't enabled right now. I'll do it. There we go. That was pretty good. I'm happy with that. do it.
That was good.
And I will do it. I'll do it with Frostpunk, and I'll do it with Triangle Strategy. I got to take a deep breath after that. I think I'm gonna. My face is turning red.
Yeah, you don't have the Palpatine organ, you know.
No, I don't. It takes hundreds of years to build that one up. I'm palpitating too
that
much.
one alone.
Disney, you're waiting for Frostpunk 2? Yeah. I'd be interested in that too. Yeah, because Frostpunk came out, I think, like 6 years ago. But that's neither here nor there. That is my short list of games that I put together this morning. I know there are tons more, but I only looked at my 2 favorite genres before I woke up and make breakfast. So, yeah, I'll post a more comprehensive list on all of our community areas here over the next few days. Get some people in on those deals. But thank you, Vilos and Sav, for sitting through that long-ass list of things I just read off. Without any warning. I didn't tell you I was going to do that for the show. But Vilos, can you now tell us about the 2 games we're going to play tonight? Well, you just say them so I don't mess them up.
Yes, we're starting with Ghost Ship from 2003. No, Ghost Song.
The hit movie.
Ghost Song is developed by Old Moon, published by Humble Games. It is a 2D, basically Metroidvania, as they say it is. On the desolate moon of Lorien, a long-dormant dead suit awakens from slumber. Armed and combat-ready, memory clear of purpose. But something new is stirring. Of course, it just this whole Game Pass info thing is just the lore luring you in. But yeah,
it's so very alluring.
I played a few minutes of it. I played a few minutes of it. The art is fantastic. Like, it's just really cool looking. So I'm intrigued. And I can always play a Metroidvania, and it's relatively short, anywhere between 8 to 15 hours, according to how long to beat.
That's a pretty wide margin
that they have on Xbox. Yeah,
I think we can beat it tonight.
The low end is 8 hours. Nah.
You answered that like ever it would be possible to beat that tonight.
You're like, I'm good at Metroidvanias, but yeah, no. That's Ghost Song, though. It's a very sci-fi. Obviously my wheelhouse. Then the second game that we've got, though, Game of the Year contender for 2022, was talked about for like a whole week before Game Awards, because it came out a little late, but developed by Obsidian, published by Xbox Game Studios. Officially, what do they officially call it? Actually, they don't even put it in the genre, which makes sense because not a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know how to describe it when I first saw it.
It's a living illustrated world inspired by illuminated manuscripts and printed woodcuts in a time when Europe is at a crossroads of great religious and political change.
Yeah.
So, like, all the time?
Yes. Specifically 16th century, it does say that.
Yeah, it's a game that's been highly recommended by a couple different people in our community, and I didn't realize when I originally clicked this, because it is on Game Pass, that this was the game that they were talking about. It looks like old drawings, like old, especially religious drawings of Europe in the 1500s, and it's a choose your own adventure. So you really get to pick how things are going to turn out for you. And Violet, you described it before the show as being funny, which I didn't expect, but based on the vibe of the trailer, I totally get that, because you can it seems like you can either take it pretty seriously, or you can just be like, throw a candle and run, you know? So I'm excited to see how that turns out. That game I saw is about 14 hours to beat on Game Pass. So I'd like to. That's the sweet spot of length for me. I don't want to play anything over 20 hours anymore. Well, not a story game over 20 hours. I'll put way more than 20 hours into a game I like. But I'm excited for both of those. So yeah, we'll be playing both of those on the show tonight. What's up, Vincentism? Vilos will take Ghost Song first, and then I'll take Pentiment. Not Parliament, not Penitent, but Pentiment. Oh gosh, I'm not helping. I'm not helping anybody. Today when I was running through, because I genuinely messed up those words a few times. I was like, what other dumb words could I mess up there? And I came up with the dumb question: why is increment and excrement? Why are those not opposites of each other? Can anybody tell me that? I know how prefixes work, and those don't work. Anyway, these are the deep questions for the late night podcast. That'll be for later. But I'm just gonna let you guys chew on that one. Let's wrap up the show as Sav is in disbelief.
It's gonna,
It is a question for when people are just gone. Like it's just discussion. There is no answer.
There is no answer. There is only discussion. Let's wrap up the show here. Again, thank you everybody who's stuck around with us in what am I saying? In podcast, for the podcast in Twitch, or if you're listening in the future, probably after Christmas, on Spotify and all of our other platforms, which you can access on Anchor. If you want access to everything there is Party Invite, please check out partyinvite.games, our website. It has our link to all of our socials, any blog post that Vilos has, and anything in between. Anything you need to find is going to be there. So let's wrap up the show. We're going to jump over to these games after a BRB screen. But while you can find these on our VODs on Twitch for the next 2 weeks, you will soon find them up on our YouTube. So hopefully we'll see you in one of those places soon.
Yay!
Okay, bye!
Happy Christmas,
Bye.
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.